Cy from Cy Cycles with my buddy Don Shipman. He and I worked together 35 plus years ago at Specialized. He was the hometown, home territory, home turf dude back at the home office of Specialized. The man. And you were with Specialized early days, 1984.
84. Joined late 84.
Wow. And I joined in 88. I think looking back on it was early days. He was there in the infancy.
Mm-hmm.
So Don's in town from San Francisco and just scoping some things out that he's going to do next summer around here. And we're sitting in my cold garage in the global headquarters of the fun shop of Cy Cycles. And we're just going to do a quick intro here because we may do some storytelling after a while for dinner. So let's go eat. Ciao. We ended up going to dinner and didn't get back to the storytelling garage, but I told Don I got a couple of his stories that I've got to ask him to tell. And one of them, I mean, I wonder about, I think about sometimes occasionally get a Yamaha RD350 or RD400, a two-stroke, two-cylinder street bike. And then at my age, I think, bad idea. Well, it was probably a better idea when I would have been 19 and Don had an RD400 at age 19. And 15 years ago, we were out in Nevada, California, Northern California, Nevada, motorcycling. And Don said, somewhere around here. What was the deal?
Oh, I was telling a story about when we were out in the area that, geographically, an area that I'd been to decades earlier and had an unfortunate experience. And I had my new RD400, and I was...
At what age?
19, 20, I think I was 20. And I had bought a new RD400, and those bikes like to go fast. And when I got to Nevada, it was the first time I'd seen an open road with no obstructions and no intersections, and there was a long stretch of desert road, and I thought I'd see how fast the bike would go. And the answer was 120 miles an hour, which is pretty good for a 400cc bike. But the other thing was the bike was very stable at 120 miles an hour. So instead of just ramping it up and then winding it down, I just stayed at 120 miles an hour for, I don't know how long, probably a 5-8 mile stretch. And I could see in the distance some flashing lights. And
those desert roads that go on like a thread. You could see 10 miles.
Yes, yeah, excellent visibility. I could see flashing lights way down the road, and I thought there was a wreck. And so I just sat up and rolled up to it at 55 or whatever the speed limit was. And then as I approached, I could see there wasn't an accident. There were two police cars, sheriff cars, blocking the road at a cattle grate. And I thought, oh, something happened. Somebody must have robbed a store or something. And so I just cruised up to it. I thought they would make sure that I wasn't the criminal, and I'd keep going. And instead, when I got up to the two police cars, one of them grabbed me by the throat under the helmet and pulled me off the back of the bike, which I don't think is an official training method. But he took me down. The bike fell over in the road, and they put handcuffs on me. And I was looking up, and I said, I think you guys have the wrong guy. And one of the officers said, we got a report of a white motorcycle going 100 miles an hour. That's a white motorcycle, ain't it? And that was my first clue that I was in trouble. That maybe the reason they were blocking the road with at the cattle grate was because I was speeding.
When did you make it home, though?
Well, they took me to jail, and my mom and dad came and bailed me out within a few hours. So I didn't spend the whole night, but it was very late, and I got to wear an orange jumpsuit. And
no way.
Yeah, yeah. No, you put all your stuff in a paper bag and throw you in a cell with a bunch of other guys that I suppose deserved to be there. And I couldn't keep up with those guys, the things that they had done. You know, everybody compares their crimes when you get into jail. And,
oh man!
They all asked me what I did, and I acted like I did it on purpose so they'd think I was tough. But the truth is, I would have never tried to outrun the police on purpose. And I didn't have any rear view mirrors on the bike, and so I had no idea they had any interest in me. I only saw what was going on in front.
You probably lost them, huh?
Oh,
Or they
yeah.
could have
Oh,
got
no,
it from
I
the
was
air.
laying on the ground for at least a minute before the cop car that had been chasing me came up. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was moving faster than he was. But you can't outrun the radio out there in the desert. You know, only a fool would do that. So it really wasn't deliberate. And I think they believed me that it wasn't deliberate. But that doesn't change things. They took me to jail.
Right. How far was that over out in Nevada? Yeah, because you were in Santa Cruz?
Yes. And
That's a haul.
Yeah, it was long. Yeah, it was a break-in ride for the bike. The bike was brand new. I just wanted to check it out. I had no plans. Didn't anticipate, that I would be going that fast. Certainly didn't anticipate that I would get arrested and go to jail.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was new.
It was brand new.
Come on.
Yeah, it was a brand new bike.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was the first time, it was the fastest I had ever gone. It was the first time I'd ever gone that fast, and it didn't end well.
and it gets you on a quick trip to jail. Wow. So, boys and girls.
Lyon County Jail in Yerington, Nevada. I've been there.
It was in Yerington?
Yeah.
And we went through Yerington. We stopped in Yerington when we were riding.
We did. I think that's why we started
ago.
talking about it. And I told you guys the story about the two cop cars at the cattle grade.
Oh, man. But, man, I tell you what, out in Nevada out there, oh, good gosh, those straight roads, they go off like a thread. I mean, it's straight line speed, but it would be fun to be able to ride in areas like that more often. In fact, more often. It's been 15 years since we did that. And we keep saying we're going to ride again. We did ride bicycles 2 years ago. We rode Ragbri.
We'll ride again.
So we got to ride motorcycles again. So, All right. Well, that's it. You heard it here from my buddy Shipman. Cy from Cy Cycles. 4 wheels move the body, but 2 wheels move the soul. Ciao.